scratch when you're done with that. You want to visit Raz Addictions on Facebook.com to play their version of the raffle for all kinds of chances at cool prizes. You can even win some cash. Buy a $10 raffle ticket with a chance at $100. That's a chance to win 10 times your money. It don't get any better than that. That's Raz Addictions on Facebook.com for all kinds of cool prizes. Tell them what you've won, Dave.
I've won everything from NFL tailgating barbecue sets. I've got old school helmets. I've got new style helmets. I've got memorabilia rings. I've got signed banners. I've got signed footballs. I've got everything that Raz Addiction offers, folks. They also have more that I haven't won, which is surprising, but they're cheap, affordable, and they're certified stuffs that you can win. So go ahead and check it out.
That's Raz Addictions on Facebook.com. Go there, play, and win. And now it's time for shout-outs.
We have Miss at Julie Noted _PFG NFL writer and co-founder with at Backs Football Guru of at PFG Vibe and PFG Vibecast. Julie is also a cult writer for at Our Turf Football, a women's group of sports writers with having great pieces and is a great sports follow. Also, we have packtothefuture.com, where it features us on their podcast sections, where you can get all the things you didn't even know, where you can check out Packers news and check out tickets to the games and even Packer event updates.
At Parker Momos is a Packers writer and contributor for Die Hard Packer Fan, a great young writer with a different view of the game and brings a ton of energy and passion to his work. Then you've got at MontyJP231, the founder and host of the Full Monty Football Show every Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, featured by Nuts and Bolts Sports on blogtalkradio.com. He works hard on Sundays so you don't have to. And follow the rest of the crew too, at Greg Cowboys, at Lion Cuban, and at the other George Lopez. Again, that's at MontyJP231 on the Twitter.
We're going to round this out with the NFC North Round Table Fellas. Starting off with at Mike Zimmer's Ears. JB is co-host of the Heart and Skull podcast. Then we have at the Fifth Top. Julius Porter is a Detroit native Lions writer for at Detroit Sports Nation, and Uncle Mike 21. Austin Fugelstad is the co-host of at Hollis Hall Brawl, covering all the things you need to know about the Bears, Vikings, Lions, and Packers from these fellas. Also, special shout out to Julius Porter. He's going over to Afghanistan, folks. He's going over to be a contractor to help set up for the soldiers. Go ahead and keep him in your prayers. We're going to miss you, buddy. We'll be holding a spot for you when you get back. We'll miss you and love you.
Much love, Julius. Stay safe, buddy. And as always, you can follow us on the Twitter at First and Goal Pod, myself at UPJ33, Dave is at Steak and Cheese, the fantasy wonder himself, Dylan at DylanBusby1. Email us at firstandgoalpodcast@yahoo.com with all your football and Packer questions. Give us your comments, and you just might end up making the show live. Again, that's firstandgoalpodcast@yahoo.com.
And I got nothing to show, just climbing this rope right here. And if there's a man upstairs, he kept bringing me rain. But I've been sending up prayers and something's changed. I think I finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life now. All my dreams are coming true, yeah. I've been waiting. What you got, 'cause I'm putting it all on the line. Nothing's gonna stop me tonight. What you got, yeah, I'm taking my one at a time. I get knocked down and I get back up. I'm riding high, never sleeping, living for the weekend. Down when the going gets tough. I'm rising up from the deep end, living.
All right, and we are back to close out the show. About that time to say goodnight, and final thoughts there, Dave, as you tweet out that it's not Buskiski, it's Trubisky.
Yeah, as everyone knows, I have been one of the biggest Mitch haters. It's because he needs to prove it to me. He needs to go ahead and get the job done. He needs to play like himself, like we saw last year. Guess what? Tonight we saw it. I even just put out the tweet that says all the guys in the NFC North Roundtable. I told everyone last night that Mitch will not amount to anything. He needs to sit behind the starting QB next year from the draft or a veteran QB and let them both learn and develop. Well, he proved me wrong. I believe he had 4 total touchdowns tonight and over 300 total scrimmage yards. He killed it. He had an initial interception, but then he went back, and you could see in a lot of his game he used his legs. I just told Jay this, and Jay called it last night in the show. Repping the Bears. He said, yeah, you got to go ahead and let him use his legs like he used it last year. 64 yards and a rushing touchdown on top of 240 passing yards plus 3 touchdowns passing. I mean, he made really good decisions after that interception. Man, tell you what, if Nagy lets him run like this offense and just he finally take the safety, then you know what Jay was? It felt like he took those training wheels off tonight, watching that game plan. And we know Dallas is a rough team, and I'm not coming out and calling them a tough team at all, but their defense still has some talent. And Trubisky with that rushing ability and being able to make the smart decisions in throwing the ball, it looked like Nagy took the training wheels off tonight. And I'll give credit where credit is due. Bears fans, enjoy your win tonight.
They did a good job. Trubisky, now I'm going to have to go back because, we're doing the show, and I'm going to watch the tape because the stat line looks great. But again, like I said, but you know what? Watching the highlight package they're running right now, just mechanically, he did a far better job than Dak Prescott did tonight.
Oh, God, yeah. Dak was throwing balls way too outside. He was throwing them inside, almost got picked off. Dak should have had 3 interceptions tonight if it wasn't for Bears defenders either tipping him up in the air and almost getting to him or breaking a little too early on routes they were expecting. Dak just, God, it amazes me. Dallas fans want this guy to
get paid
$30+ million. Like, what? No.
That was another one we were talking about in the preseason prior to the start of the season. People were like, what do you mean? He's a really good quarterback. Okay, well, this is the issue I have with people when I get in these conversations. Okay, so there's like, to me, when it comes to quarterbacks, Dave, there's 2 sides. There's no gray area. You're either gonna treat them with kid gloves and act like they're all good and call them all elite and all super and they're all great, or you're gonna be super critical and bust their balls down to the very best of them. I choose to bust their balls because, like I explained last night, they're one of 2 players, and they're the only prominent player that actually does anything when they touch the ball and controls the ball on their side every play. They're the player that gets all, like, and I thought of this after the show. Anybody that doesn't think a quarterback is the most important and most prominent and most used position and affects the game the most, then explain to me why there's not a defensive tackles win stat, defensive edge rusher win stat, wide receiver win stat, running back win stat, left tackle win stat. There's team wins, coaches wins, and quarterback wins. That's a statistic that is a record that quarterbacks like Brett Favre, John Elway, Tom Brady break. Well, if it wasn't a real stat, then how can you make a record for it?
NFL and ESPN uses it.
Yeah. There's none of these stats for any of the other positions. There's no wide receiver win stat. A wide receiver doesn't get credit for an interception, even if it hits his hands. Quarterback does. Why? He didn't let it hit his hands and go into the... Like, the game and even the statistics are set up on quarterbacks for a reason.
Yeah.
And so, given all that information, I'm not going to see
a microscope
right.
always.
So, given that, I'm gonna fall on the side of I treat them harshly because if I have all that information,
a little bit.
Oh, God, I admit it. Sometimes I get in a bad mood and I'm overly critical on even guys like freaking Aaron Rodgers because I'm just in a bad mood and I'm pissed off but at the same time, I would much rather be that guy than be the guy that tries to tell me that every year there's 5 Hall of Fame quarterbacks that get drafted. That makes me sick and makes me like, how can I trust anything you say about a quarterback, good or bad, if every year you're telling me the guy that has a 4-game stretch and has all these numbers is going to make it to the Hall of Fame and he can't make it out of the season as a starting quarterback?
Yep. No, I definitely agree on that. Also, too, after giving the Bears credit, man, tell you what, they kind of took a hit on defense. They're already missing Hicks. They were missing Trevathan. They might get Hicks back next week, depending on how he feels. But it looks like they might probably be without Raquan Smith. He was ruled out instantly after he went to the X-ray room with a hurt pectoral. And usually if you're ruled out that quick, he's probably going to miss. Yeah. Usually that's a torn pec or a torn pectoral.
And we're saying this knowing that they basically have a mini bye because they played the Thursday game.
Yeah, and they ruled him out within 2 minutes after going to the X-ray room. You can't take X-ray that fast. He's literally.
We'll find out tomorrow. We'll find out what it is tomorrow, and I hope honestly, like I know he's a Bears, that's a rival. Look, to be able to prove what they are, I want them at full strength. I don't care what their record is.
I fully agree. Prince Amukamara sat tonight, and he wasn't even hurting that much. He even said, he goes, yeah, I could have played tonight, but he goes, Green Bay's coming up next week, and that's why I want to play for. That's what he said. So
well, and they obviously didn't need him tonight. I mean, he recognized they were playing mediocrity this week, and they could be all right.
Which is sad. Mark Cooper, Gallup, Cobb, Witten. Oh, just if they only had a quarterback.
That's what happens. All right, Dave, we got to get the hell out of here. I got to go check my kids. Tell them it's
they're alive.
Almost midnight. Well, I know, but they've been staying up late. They've been up late because they take advantage of their mom being tired and their dad podcasting late at night. So they do. They take advantage.
Sounds like mom needs to drink some coffee.
Dude, look, my wife, when we used to party, she could stay up when we were in our early 20s before kids. We could both stay up all night, go to work just fine, do it the next night. Since we've had kids, like her alarm clock goes off at 10 o'clock and like she turns into a hibernating grizzly bear. It's like by midnight, she's usually passed out and snoring.
That's how my wife
Not mad at her. I'm not mad at her, but it's just, hashtag mom life. That's what happens.
In Germany, when I was stationed there and I first met my wife, got back even when I first met her, whenever we went out to the clubs or the bars together, oh my God, I would literally because there's no time limit at closing bars in Germany, Jay. It literally went till 6 a.m. And
party ain't stop until 6 in the morning. So what you going to do? Huh?
It really is like that over there. And we would come out, there'd just be sunlight hitting us in the face. My wife would still be freaking drinking a Red Bull and vodka, like with one of the bar glasses, and a bouncer would have to come back out and snatch the glass from her because she was so toasted. But the thing is now, same thing. She gets freaking completely tired, like 8 p.m. hits. It's like she goes into a coma. And she drinks alcohol. One Zima,
Dave, I'm putting words in your mouth because I know I can right now. We're not picking on them. This is just fucking truth.
Oh, we love our wives.
We're not I don't blame them. She's okay. This is the funny thing. We're gonna close the show out with a little little relationship talk because we never do this. We're always football all the time.
The ladies' man advice.
This is how we're gonna get. We're gonna give you a window into our psyche outside of football here. Okay. wives and husbands get tired